Oh my gosh, was that an oath rod? Oh, an oath rod. Those play such a big part. Oh my gosh. Hello and welcome to Shelf Centered. I just wanted to give some quick initial thoughts on the Wheel of Time trailer. I am myself a huge fan of the Wheel of Time. The show itself was kind of the reason why I had the impetus to finally finish the Wheel of Time earlier this year, and so I'm not going to mince words here. I am a fan, and this is really a pretty biased reaction, probably, if I'm being honest. I'm trying to be unbiased as much as possible, but here we are. So please, before I jump into things, remember to like and subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this. So I kind of opened up the oath rod as kind of one of the first things we see. It looks like we're kind of diving back a little further into the story than even The Eye of the World, which is the first book of the Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. So it looks like we're diving into New Spring here. And so New Spring is just kind of a prequel. We get to see a little more about Moraine, played by Rosamund Pike, who's clearly played a pretty big part in each of the trailers so far. She is a pivotal part of the Wheel of Time. I've heard her called the Gandalf of this series, and that's kind of what she is. Anyway, my kind of initial thoughts I wanted to get into, and if you don't know much about Wheel of Time, I do have other videos on this. But basically, it's a story that starts out like your typical farm boy is destined to be greater and to greatness, that kind of trope. But what I love about it is that Robert Jordan completely flips a lot of those tropes on their heads. And I think the biggest is, and you'll start seeing, or if you've heard of the Emmonsfield Five, this isn't a story just about the main guy, right? It's about a bunch of people. It's about so many characters. You will definitely lose track unless you have a photographic memory, which I do not. Especially when I reread the first 5 books, it really solidified that this is a series and a story it's about everybody. It's not just about this person. And then even more so, and I'll probably get into this later, but Jordan was very clear, in at least in my research, about he starts off this story as a pretty typical, and I think they're kind of leaning into that with the trailer, that this is kind of like your fantasy. They're kind of leaning into the Lord of the Rings kind of comparisons that they absolutely can do. But he was very clear that this isn't your, hey, farm boy, the prophecy that everybody knows about, and he comes in and boom, everybody's happy. We just had to discover the guy, and now we're all good. In this, it's more farm boy, everyone does know the prophecy, but it's so in the future from the prophecy or whatever it may be that nobody trusts it, nobody cares about it. It's especially in this first town that we start out with. Trollocs are a thing that you scare the kids at night to make sure they go to bed, or when you tell ghost stories, but they don't actually exist, do they? And that's one of the kind of brilliant parts of this, is that what if the prophesied savior of the world is there, he's found, but literally no one believes him. and so what happens then? And that's what I love about this. I wish the trailer could be clear on that this isn't your typical, but maybe that's a good thing too, and it'll get more people to like it and watch it. I just hope we haven't tired of that trope, because this isn't that trope. Anyway, it starts out kind of. Anyway, sorry. I could go down that. One of the first lines after Moraine kind of gives the oaths on the oath rod, and they essentially make her as an Aes Sedai have to follow those oaths because they've been done through magic, essentially. And she has to follow the oaths that she takes, and essentially and I like how it calls the Aes Sedai, they're the servants of the world, right? That's essentially, they take it a little further than that, but in more of a haughty way sometimes. But anyway, they do that. I thought one of the lines that stuck out to me in the beginning of the trailer, it said, "The old blood runs strong in the two rivers." And I think a lot of people, like my last trailer, the teaser trailer reaction, got my first dislikes on the page. So we'll see if we get that again. I'm sure my opinions will be disagreed with, and I'm happy to disagree. But I just thought a lot of people could take that as, oh, see, the old blood, it needs to be this kind of homogenous place. And so, therefore, the diversity that's been cast with this cast here is, wrong. And one of those things is that Moraine isn't really looking for an old blood; she's looking for an Aiel, right? But I just who's saying that the old blood isn't non-white blood? I mean, like, why can't that be the case? You didn't actually see any of the people in this. I just feel like, or why can't that even be changed? I don't think it hurts anything to be like, the old blood, it's very old. It's had lots of different changes over the years, with people clearly coming in, and even Rand being kind of a unique thing, and maybe I'll set some spoilers around this to be careful. But anyway, I'll jump forward. I still, one of the things is I like the monsters. That's what I commented in my last video. I really like how they're doing the monsters. What I worried is, and what it has the potential to be, is like the Narnia kind of monsters, because some things are kind of similar to some of those monsters that you see in the Chronicles of Narnia movies. And what I like is that, like, because the Trollocs, you had, I think, I seem to remember there was like a bird-headed beast or something in Narnia. But these are darker, these are scarier and evil, and I really think they did a good job with these. Sorry, I took a bunch of notes on this. The White Cloaks, we just briefly see them. We see the little bell jingle. Oh man, that makes me just hate them. But you could, like, literally, what do we see them for? Maybe 2 seconds in this trailer, and you can already just see how pompous they are. And oh man, it just seems like they've done a good job with the White Cloak. My first reaction to the White Cloaks when I saw one of the pictures was like, they're in dresses? Like, that doesn't seem like that was part of their outfit. But anyway, it seems like they're doing a good job, just literally with the brief amount of time that I saw that here. So I've just been, in that brief time that the trailer's been out from yesterday, there's been talk about, like, Lan crying, being emotional. It does seem like that's not really part of the books as far as I remember, but it's been a little bit. But I don't know. I feel like, again, we're going on almost no information, and so maybe this just doesn't even matter. Maybe it won't even be included in the actual show. Who knows? But it's just, we know that, it is a little bit of a spoiler, that Lan goes through a lot, and maybe this is just some setup for him to be able to kind of just show, like, he goes through some stuff, and that bond that a warder has with their Aes Sedai, because that's what a warder is they're this gnarly dude or female, which is great, essentially train their whole lives to be able to protect their Aes Sedai, because their Aes Sedai is doing very important things in the world, and sometimes is busy doing magic and can't do the things that they need to do, like protect themselves. And so you have this warder, and then they benefit from this bond, but also if that bond is not there, that's a big struggle. So one of the things, I was dictating my text, and it said, for the warder Aes Sedai bond, the speech to text said, water ice today bond. What I liked they showed, so it's looking like so how they're showing the female versus male power is, female is white, male is black, and again, kind of utilizing the Aes Sedai kind of symbol, which is that kind of the yin yang kind of symbol of, I don't know, is this it? Is that it? Is that good? And using that kind of symbol as the powers. So that was interesting. I think you see Logain stop a knife with the power. That's what I'm seeing there, I think. That was pretty cool to see. I'm excited for Logain. All right, one of the things I think what's funny is So you get this great braid flip from Nynaeve, the character who's playing Nynaeve. And that's one of the cool things is we got to see them talk. I don't know why, that was exciting to see Perrin talk. But Nynaeve's hair flip, her braids, what's funny is in the books, they get to a point of like, you're a little frustrated with how many times braids are mentioned. But what's funny now is that seeing that braid flip for me just makes me all warm and gooey and happy. And it's really cool to see that, and almost like, hey, salute to the fans, you know, we got this. Anyway, hopefully we don't over below that. I just assume that's not going to be, because you're not going to be, you know, this isn't a 4 million word series. It's trying to get through things in a quicker time, I assume. That's my initial thoughts on the trailer. It got me really excited. I'm pumped for this. I'm still trying to go in going, okay, there's this, you know, there could be some things that aren't perfect, I'm sure. I'm just seeing really positive things for the most part. There's some slight changes from the books. I just think you're gonna have that, and you're not getting into the heads of everybody, and we're gonna have to see some kind of changes. But overall, it's looking really good, and it's nice to see Amazon really pushing it. We were flipping through last night, just our Amazon Fire, and when you go to the Amazon app, it's, you know, one of the big advertised shows that they're promoting is clearly Wheel of Time. So that's nice to see it actually show, and I can be like, see, it's a real thing. It's actually happening. They're not hiding it. I don't know why it took so long, but here we are. So that's good. I'm excited to see the fans' reactions and more reactions to this. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please leave a like, subscribe if this is something that you dig and you want to keep going. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Bye.